CBR History presents The Untold Story of Abraham Lincoln. Everyone knows the 16th President of the United States for his great speeches, his leadership through the Civil War, and his deep hatred of vampires. What few people know is about the fight that occurred decades after his death when he squared off against the one and only Deadpool. Most Deadpool stories settle for just entertaining you with brutal fight scenes, meta jokes, and a reluctant superhero team-up with someone like Spider-Man or Wolverine. Few seek to actually educate you, while featuring brutal fight scenes, meta jokes, and a reluctant superhero team-up. The Marvel Universe is crawling with irresponsible magic users who force their will upon the universe. While most of these people are either trying to save the world or destroy it, the necromancer Michael Hawthorne sought only to save the United States of America, which is ironic because he nearly destroyed it. When Michael used his necromancy to raise the deceased presidents from their graves, he didn't realize that he had brought them back as evil ghost zombies. These Rob zombified versions of the presidents got a good look at modern-day America and decided that there was only one solution: blow it all up and start all over. Makes sense. So George Washington led the team on a brutal assault all over the country to destroy that which he helped build to bring forth a new nation in its ashes. So naturally, S.H.I.E.L.D. was all over this presidential supervillain team-up. When you need a hero to ghost bust several revenant American leaders, who you gonna call? While heroes like Captain America or Ghost Rider would have been their first choice, they were saddled with the one Canadian hero who was up for the job, Deadpool. The early showdowns with the likes of FDR, Harry Truman, and the other presidents showed that this challenge was more than a little out of Wade's wheelhouse. He would have to make allies who would help him take the ghostly historical figures down. Wade gets approached by the kind ghost of Ben Franklin, who informs him that the necromancer's magic has warped the presidents into something evil. Then they go to the Marvel character who's an expert in all things magic, evil, and Beyonce, Doctor Strange. He manages to enchant a sword with the power to take the zombie prezes out for good this time. The only problem is that there's one president who's always getting in Wade's way. Every time he gains an edge, this prez is there to shoot him in the back of the head in a twisted take on the infamous assassination. That's right, Deadpool's greatest rival is none other than Abraham Lincoln. Gather around, boys and girls, because it's time for another classic CBR history break. While Abraham Lincoln is rightfully known for being one of the most famous American leaders of all time, there was another classic competition that he dominated: wrestling. That's right. While Steven Spielberg and Tony Kushner were too cowardly to include this in their Oscar-winning film Lincoln, Abe's long reach and bravado made him a formidable opponent in the ring. Maybe when Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson inevitably plays Lincoln, they'll cover this epic part of his life. Can you smell what Honest Abe is cooking? Unfortunately, Wade Wilson wasn't in on the whole Abraham Lincoln was an expert fighter thing when their rivalry finally came to a head. At this point in the arc, Wade had already made his way through several of the ghost presidents. Most notably, he was able to take out JFK while dressed as Marilyn Monroe. I would show you what this looked like, but it's not something you can unsee. Trust me. After that, he followed up with slaying Herbert Hoover, Calvin Coolidge, Warren G. Harding, and James Buchanan at the Hoover Dam before they could destroy it. After that, he figured he was more than ready to take the rest of them down. In fact, he starts taking them out so easily that he doesn't even bother learning who some of the more obscure presidents are before slashing them to pieces. Of course, that's when Abraham Lincoln shoots him in the back of the head. Again. It became clear to both hero and president that the only way to solve this beef was for the two of them to have it out once and for all. Luckily, Marvel knew that this was going to be an epic fight too, because they set it in a frickin' MMA-style fighting ring in Vegas. In this corner, we have Deadpool, the merc with a mouth weighing in at 225 pounds. In this corner, we have President Lincoln, the Illinois rail splitter, weighing in at 180 pounds. Fight! In round one of their fight, Deadpool decided to get rid of his weapons and fight Abe hand-to-hand. After making a joke that Lincoln secretly fathered the equally hairy Wolverine, which I consider to be 100% canon, by the way, old Abe brought the pain. He literally punched Wade so hard that he went flying into the lights. So give round one to Lincoln. Round two begins with Wade getting back up, only for Lincoln to smash his face with a chair. Oh my god, what a chair shot! He then follows this up with a flurry of blows that push Deadpool to the edge of the ring. Wade offers up literally no defense against Lincoln, as he barrages Deadpool with combination after combination in what appears to be almost super speed. If that weren't enough, Lincoln starts mocking him as well. He calls him a vapid, unfunny, pale shade of a hero, unintelligent, uncreative, and unremarkable in every way, as he punches in Wade's chest cavity. Okay, so round two definitely goes to Lincoln. As Deadpool lays on the ground, beaten and broken, Lincoln repeatedly asks him what his appeal is. Deadpool responds that he doesn't give up, as Abe starts attacking him even though he's down. He asks him, "Why are you so exceptional?" just as Wade reaches for his sword. Wade screams, "I don't give up," as he whips around and cuts Lincoln's head off. Round 3 goes to Deadpool. Fatality. Even though Lincoln got decapitated, the conflict was far from over. Not one to ever be happy getting upstaged, as the President, George Washington, decides to step forward as the Thanos of the story. As Wade travels to space to defeat the Star Wars-obsessed Ronald Reagan, before he has a chance to launch a nuclear strike from space, he returns to his team ready to end the threat of the dead presidents once and for all. Deadpool's shield handler Emily Preston went from hating his presence in their mission to becoming one of the few people to ever truly believe in him. So naturally, Washington decided to skewer her like her name was Phil Coulson. Like any good Deadpool story, this tragic loss is what fuels him to go from happy-go-lucky Deadpool to full-blown rampage Deadpool. That's when Washington enacts his big final plan, to destroy his namesake city, Washington, D.C., and then the rest of the nation itself through necromancy. Like Abe before him, Washington mocks Deadpool as a man with no convictions and no soul. While this would usually be the time when Wade would answer back with a quip, he tells Washington that there will be no more jokes. "My name is Wade Wilson. You killed my friend. Prepare to die." Wait a minute, he just did an Inigo Montoya. Thought we wouldn't notice, yeah, but we did. He then proceeds to brutally chop America's first president down like he's a cherry tree. Wade takes both of his hands and then his legs until Washington's completely immobilized. Then he screams at Wade to do it, hoping it would mean a quick end with the sword. Wade had other ideas though. He grabbed Washington by the powdered wig and slowly ripped his zombified head from his ghostly shoulders. Then Washington reverted back to his real self. He thanked Wade for saving him and the nation from evil necromancy. Not satisfied with his change, Deadpool kicks George Washington's head like a soccer ball right into the crotch of the Lincoln Memorial. If only I had a dime for every time I said that sentence. As epic as his final confrontation with Washington was, I still gotta give it to the Lincoln fight as the best presidential brawl in the arc. Out of all of them, Lincoln was the only one who literally had Wade on the ropes. If it weren't for his healing factor, there's no way he would have made it out of that ring alive. Now that everyone from Scarlet Witch to Loki is getting a Disney Plus series, a Deadpool show seems inevitable. Why not just bring back that animated series that got canceled by Donald Glover, huh? We could actually see Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool take on Abraham Lincoln in all the bloody glory it deserves. Disney has enough money to get Daniel Day-Lewis out of retirement, right? Right? I think we can all agree that Deadpool vs. Abraham Lincoln is the best American history art to come out in the last few decades. Take that, Lin-Manuel Miranda. I mean, Hamilton didn't even have one superhero in it.